because that doesn't often happen. And we got it fairly easily passed. I think we had a couple of extra votes if we needed them, and more than a couple of votes if we needed them. There's great spirit for this. The Republicans have a tremendous spirit. We'll have no Democrat support. We may have on the tax cuts because I think it's going to be very hard for 5 or 6 of them to run successfully saying they want to raise taxes. Look, the Democrats want to raise taxes and really create obstruction, and the Republicans want to lower taxes, and we want to get rid of regulations. I've gotten rid of more regulations in the first 9 months than any president has for their term in office. That's a big statement, but we've really just begun. I would say we have at least another 50% that we want to do. So that's going to be fantastic. In some cases, it's statutory where you have to give a notice, and then you have to give another notice, and you have to wait 90 days. But we've gone along that statutory process. And I will tell you, Tom, you're going to see a lot of additional relief from these horrible regulations that have been killing our country. They've literally been killing. As you noticed, GDP was just announced, and shockingly to a lot of people, despite the hurricanes, which possibly could be considered to be 1 point, we were at 3. And we were at 3.2 last quarter, but we were at 3. And to be at 3 with a 1 point, that would have meant we would have hit 4 or thereabouts. And those are numbers that have not been seen for many years. So we're doing well, and we'll continue to do well. The big thing is we have companies that really want to move back into the United States now because of regulation, because of what we're doing with taxes. And some big ones are going to be announcing very soon. Dirk, could I ask you to say a few words from the National Association of Wholesale Distributors? That would be great.
First thing, Mr. President, thank you. Appreciate the opportunity to be here. A few of us in the room are old enough to remember being in this same room when President Reagan was working on tax reform.
You and me.
2 of us at least, right?
You don't look that old.
Tom was here. 30 years or so passed. The tax code doesn't resemble what was done in '86. Reform is long, long overdue. I represent an industry with very high effective tax rates. Frankly, they're tired of paying the other guy's taxes. Unstated, but I assume that the kind of price of admission for being here today is that you support the process going forward. Obviously, each of us have to see the details, and there may be one thing or another that we'd like to see different, but the broader perspective is that for the good of the economy, the good of the country, and frankly, I think the good of our members, you have to support the process going forward. You have our commitment to do precisely that.
That's great. Thank you.
Thank you.
That's really great. I appreciate it. I think so important. You know, we talk tax cuts, which is really, to me, the very big thing, the tax cuts. We desperately need them. But so many other things are happening, including bringing $4 trillion back into the United States. And that money is going to be put to work in our country for our people, creating our jobs and factories and plants. I think the number could be higher than $4 trillion. It's been $2.5 trillion for so long. Everyone said $2.5 trillion, but it's gotten obviously a lot bigger. They just kept saying 2.5. I think the number is going to be well over $4 trillion. Will be coming back into our country, and so many other things. One of the other elements that are important, Karen, and you're going to say a few words next because I'm dying to hear what you have to say. But one of the things so important is simplification. Too complicated, and we're simplifying it greatly. And I want to thank all of my folks for being here and working on it. Gary, Steve, everybody. The process is complicated, but the end result will not be that complicated. It's going to be people are going to pay less tax by a lot. Companies are going to pay less tax by a lot. That's a big difference, and companies are going to start rebuilding, and they're going to stay here, and they're going to expand, and they're going to build new plants in this country. They won't be going to other countries like they have been for many, many decades. Karen, could you say a few words? Small Business Entrepreneurship Council.
Sure. Well, thank you so much, Mr. President, for your support and leadership on this issue. This is really one of the most critical issues for small business, and they know if they get tax reform through, they're going to have more capital to put back into their businesses. They're going to invest more. They're going to provide higher wages, better benefits for their employees. You know, these business owners and entrepreneurs are also leaders at the community, back in their communities, and they do see the lack of dynamism, the lack of business dynamism, and they don't see new business creation in their communities. And that's a really serious problem in this country, the lack of entrepreneurship, weak entrepreneurship. According to our numbers, 3.2 million missing businesses in our country because of people not taking risks.
Right.
So we're very excited about tax reform in terms of the growth it will bring, the investment it will bring, making the U.S. a haven for capital again, because we need to get that edge back and need to encourage people, more people to start businesses, particularly millennials, starting businesses again, which is going to add to our competitiveness. So thank you.
One of the things that we've been talking about and that we've seen, and there's never been anything like it, is the level of enthusiasm, the enthusiasm for business, for manufacturing. It's the highest level it's ever been, highest level since the charts started. And we have a tremendous level now of enthusiasm for business and for manufacturing, and nobody's ever seen anything like it. And of course, the stock market is at an all-time high, historic high. There's never been, I mean, it's going up, I think it was 54 times since I was elected. We've hit the record 54 times, and I notice it's up again a little bit today, so that's always good. But we're going to try and keep it going up. But we've created almost $5.5 trillion in stock market wealth. Think of that, $5.5 trillion since November 8th. So we're very honored by all of that, but a very big part of it will be tax cuts and tax reform, and we'll work on that together. Thank you all very much. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much, everybody. Thank you.
You called James Douglas an excellent guy. What is your reaction?
Say it? We're not looking for that, no. We're not looking for that. Hopefully not.
You wanted to start it.
Some people have mentioned that, hopefully not.
Are you gonna pardon Mr. Manafort?
Thank you, everybody.
Mr. President, what's your reaction to have adopted
Thank you
this
very
guilty
much.
plea? Your reaction to the guilty plea, Mr. President?
To the door, thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. We won't be standing up.
You can try.
Take one gently back.
How are you? Nice to see you. Nice to see you. Good to see you. How are you?
Oh, continue. How are you, Secretary? I'm not gonna. I come back if I could. They won't let me.
Hi. Jim Pickard.
Steve City, nice to see you. Steve City.
Here we're getting.
Please sit down. It's a great group. Hi, Tom. Really good group. Thank you very much for being here, for the incredible work you're doing to help us pass the really historic tax cuts. There's never been anything like this in the history of our country. It's cuts and it's relief and it's also reform. And frankly, it's also simplification. So we're covering everything. There has never been anything like it. And it's so important. The economy is doing very well, but it can do much better. A lot of jobs are going to come from this, and a lot of